Hi guys, the project ArcoLinux grows and grows over the years, and I just made an article on Discord about the choices, right? People are staggered, are amazed that we have 40 ways of installing ArcoLinux and they don't know anymore what to do. So I've tried to make another summary, as we often do, and I've updated a particular article on ArcoLinux.info. ArcoLinux project in a nutshell, because there is the word ArcoLinux and there are parts, elements inside ArcoLinux. So if we go in and have a look at this article, this is an attempt, and I do like the wallpaper, so I kept it around. Basically, we want you to become Linux experts. And yes, we're on Arch. So if you have the knowledge to maintain and update your ArcoLinux system, I'm pretty sure you can learn how to maintain any other Linux system. It's just a matter of different commands, basically. But Plasma is Plasma. XFCE will be XFCE on other things. i3. I've done my ways around Solus and Ubuntu and all that. It just works. i3 just travels with me over all these different flavors, let's call them that. So we want you to get the cape, wear the cape and then fly. I want you to become independent of me, right? I want you to become independent of ArcoLinux tutorials. At some point in time, you will reach a vast amount of knowledge that you will say, fine, I can stand on my own 2 feet. And that's what we want as a parent for our children. That's what I want as a teacher for my students. Those you are my students, so to speak. This is the ArcoLinux University. Welcome. So what is ArcoLinux? We want you to become a Linux expert. It's a distribution based on ArcoLinux. So go and have a look what they have to say about ArcoLinux here. But we don't like to install via the wiki, right? It's a way that we will learn. It's here. ArcoLinux promotes the use of ArcoLinux. It's here. Install the ArcoLinux way. For many of us coming from Windows, the Arch wiki is installation of doing things. The installation guide is really a bridge too far, as I say in English. It's just not, you're not there yet. It's too complex yet. So we have a graphical installer which is called Calamares, and that's the website, and many Linux distributions use it, and here we are, right? But there's more. There's Chaos, and there is KDE Neon, and there's Garuda, there's Archcraft, there's Zero Linux installer, EndeavourOS. So we all use the same installer. That's great. There's a vast amount of knowledge also. All the guys that I all have mentioned, we all work on Calamares and to make it better. So we use a graphical installer to make the installation easier. Now ArcoLinux is a learning project. It's a name, and inside the name we have lots of ideas, lots of what if new concepts that we thought of. And one of the things is the ArcoLinux XL. So XL including means big, right? So it's a full-featured OS with a ton of software, 3 browsers, lots of editors, and you name it. It's loaded with GIMP and Inkscape and all the tools me personally I use to develop here the ArcoLinux project. Now you wanted to have less software, and that's ArcoLinux XS, so including again, XS is extra small, so it's less software, minimum of software, but still an XFCE, which is a great way to get into Linux world. Coming from Windows, XFCE 4 or Cinnamon are things that I would suggest to have a look. So a gradual learning phase. You need to have something that you recognize some things. Okay, here's a menu, there's the system settings, and voila, let's learn it. Some of the users wanted a long-term support kernel, so that's basically the only difference is that you have the Linux LTS kernel. So that's a choice. Sometimes hardware is not Linux ready, so to speak, but the kernel, the Linux LTS kernel, often then supports certain things like wireless or a webcam or something like that. The ArcoLinux D ISO is either the option to have a bare ISO, so you have something like an ArcoLinux ISO, but you have a still Calamares, a graphical installer, but you can choose to end up into a black screen, and then it's still up to you to type what SDDM, for example, what graphical login you want to have, display manager you want to have, or what desktop you want to have. So it's still building everything up from scratch and figuring out how everything works. So lots of ArchWiki looking, or you use the Calamares, click, 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 and then install whatever desktop you want with our packages, of course, with our settings. And often I'll refer to the packages as Lego blocks. Basically, that's all it is. All these ISOs are gathering of a list, and we call it the packages x86-64, and in that list are all the packages, and that's how you come to a different ISO, because you choose different Lego blocks, and that's it. Here we decide to install the Linux LTS kernel, and here all the other guys are just the Linux kernel. Then at some point in time, you wanted, right? The idea comes often from the interaction with the user base. You wanted to build an ISO that was containing Steam, or that was not containing Vivaldi, or was containing a certain driver or something like that. And we said, look, here it is. Here is the way how we build an ISO. You can build it yourself, or you can download it and then choose again the Calamares possibilities to add, for instance, Plasma and i3 together, or BSPWM with Awesome. Any of these things is possible because of the fact that of the power of Calamares, well, our Calamares anyway. Then at some point in time, we had students who wanted to learn more, who wanted to do more than just these projects up here, and say, how do we start from scratch? How do you build? How have you done that, Eric? Build all the ISOs from scratch. And this is Carly. Carly explains you how to build an ISO from scratch via very detailed tutorials, and it's been going on like 11 iterations already. We're now at Carly 11. So if you watch all the videos and all the articles, you know exactly what I've done with every new update that came in or challenge that we had. We explain you very detailed videos. Here it is. This is what you should do in the future. So it's also talking about workflow. What's in the backend office, because people don't know how much work is to be done in the backend. So if you watch the Carly videos, you kind of know a little bit how much work is to be done. Now, at some point in time, if you have all this knowledge about Calamares, we thought, why not make a pure ArcoLinux ISO, but with Calamares? So just stop there. Get the ArcoLinux ISO, figure out a way to put Calamares on there, and then install. And there are many ISOs as a result here, with the Linux LTS kernel, Linux Zen kernel, Linux Harden kernel, the normal Linux kernel. So again, ideas, what ifs. What if you put Calamares on ArcoLinux and stop? That's it. That's where it ends. Then I came across a beautiful script from Pico, and this AA stands for Arch and Alice. So if sometimes people ask me, right, Eric, don't you have something scripting, something like the Arch install? There's a new Arch install script, I think more or less 6 months ago. Do you have something like that? Yeah, we have. So the Alice script, I've been working hard these last weeks with Pico to make it better and better and better. And all we do is build an ArcoLinux ISO and put that on there. That's it. So there is no intervention. There's really no change. This is what I think is the purest ArcoLinux ISO. But then you need to get to grips with the scripts, study the scripts. But all again is explained on these websites. Last but not least, right, there are 40 ways to install Arch Linux. There is, of course, the Arch Linux way of installing, so the installation guide, like here, the wiki. Either you go and read everything there is to read, or maybe together with the tutorials we've made on the ArcoLinuxD.com in phase 7. So this website provides you all the steps you need to know to follow, and every month we make videos about it. We go over the old computers, the newer computers, and we go all through all the phases in phase 4. And many of these videos just start from scratch, right? Download the Arch Linux ISO for ArcoLinux.org and start typing commands. And we end up, of course, in something not that nice. It is the default look in this example here from, what is it, XFCE, GDM, Wayland, VirtualBox, right? So it is always different look. Here we have VFWM and so many others. So those are our projects. And if you still say, oh my God, this is an overview, right? The detailed information is here, and we'll just go over there. But in the end, it is really up to the user what level of knowledge he has at this point in time, what he is ready for, because it is, if you think about universities, you don't start with courses from the 3rd year in the 1st year, right? You need to build up your knowledge through the years, and it's not my responsibility to tell you, hey, you started too soon. And sometimes I do tell that. Sometimes I'm really sure. I say, sorry, but the ArcoLinux D website, ArcoLinux University, the ArcoLinux D website is for the more advanced people. It is only in phase 6 that I say, okay, let's have a look, try ArcoLinux D, figure things out. But then you have some experience of months and maybe years of experience already before you are there. The thing is, as students, right, don't start too soon with something that's too complex, because then you drop out. That's with students as well. You just drop out and you jump ship and you go to other distros. But it is a matter of knowing yourself and saying, okay, this is too soon. I have so many times, I have sometimes difficulties and challenges. And I say, okay, now I don't have enough knowledge to learn this or to overcome this. And then 6 months later, and I think, oh, this is so stupid, this was so easy. Your knowledge will grow. Give yourself time. Is the message as a professor or whatever you want to call a teacher, is that you give yourself time and listen to a lot of articles or videos, or read articles and listen to videos. Because we do have 2,500, I think, more or less, we have now on the YouTube of ArcoLinux. Let's see if we can get there. So YouTube ArcoLinux, if you type this, you come of course to my own name here, YouTube Eric Dubois. But yeah, we click here and we see it. So the video I'm making now, I'm gonna put it in here because it gives you an overview of all the projects we have. I did not go intentionally to all the websites, but I should point out that the information is all in here. This is the information. This is about ArcoLinux and Linux in total. I mean, kernels is for everybody, not just for Awesome or for Plasma. And Blank is also for many desktops, so you'll find these things here. ArcoLinux D is more of a gathering of all the phases, lots of phases in here. Phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, phase 4, phase 5, 6, 7, 8. It's an overview of all the phases, but it is basically talking about XFCE. It's basically here talking about only BSPWM, if your mind is set to learn about this particular desktop, here it is. Start with this. Don't ask questions to people online before you've seen all of this. Then you know your desktop, because after 4 years' time, we've answered all the questions already. It's on there and it's in here. Maybe I should tell again, this is where you should search, not here. This is the millions or billions of videos of YouTube. Not gonna work. Use the search inside our channel and search here about, hey, is there a kernel? Are there articles about kernels? Well, 34, a playlist, always interesting if you find a playlist. This is just about the kernels.
Introducing SpeechAlarm.
And then you find lots and lots of information about kernels, and you see we're around 2,600 already, okay? More than I thought. So let's go back here. Let's see what the number is today. The number is 2,598, sorry. So almost 2,600 videos about, what is this? Misery. Anyway, you're welcome to join the ArcoLinux University. It is really the intent to give you a free operating system, a system that you can maintain, where you can learn a lot. And if you do jump ship, or at school or university, you have something else as distro, then even from here, from the knowledge you get here and the insight and the workflow and the tools we provide you and you teach you, you'll get to know, will feel that, wow, because of the fact that you are a student of ArcoLinux, that learning is easier, is just facilitated. Voila, I hope everything is a little bit clear. If you are joining the university, great. Do remember that the university is not without any cost. So if it's in your reach, if it's possible to donate, that will be most appreciated, because we have servers that we need to host and pay for. So that's, if possible, why not, right? All right, enjoy ArcoLinux. Cheers.